The investigation into the death of Gene Hackman and his wife. Investigators are expected to reveal new information as one official shares new clues about that time frame.
The home of Hollywood legend Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa appeared dark and abandoned, with mail piling up on the doorstep and a mailbox overflowing with unanswered letters. From the outside, it looked as if the couple had simply left for a trip without notifying anyone. However, inside the house, a far more unsettling and tragic reality awaited. When the police eventually entered the residence, they uncovered a scene that would ignite controversy, accusations, and endless speculation about what had truly happened to Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa in their final days. No one could have anticipated that the acclaimed actor and his wife, well regarded for their warm hospitality and close-knit group of friends, would be found unresponsive under circumstances that defied easy explanation. The neighbors grew increasingly worried as newspapers and letters remained uncollected. One particularly concerned neighbor, suspecting something was wrong, placed a call to the authorities. That simple act of vigilance would expose the grim truth hidden behind the Hackmans' closed doors. Upon entering, authorities found themselves in a home eerily frozen in time. It seemed as though life had abruptly stopped. Groceries sat spoiling on the kitchen counter, a lamp glowed in the living room, and empty pet bowls remained in place, with no one left to care for the animals. The unsettling discovery raised countless questions, leaving behind a lingering mystery about the couple's tragic fate.
Well, this week, our community lost a giant, and I lost a dear friend, Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman's body was discovered near the kitchen, appearing to have collapsed without any visible signs of trauma. His reading glasses lay beside him, as though they had slipped from his hands in his final moments. In the bathroom, Betsy was found with a scattering of pills across the sink, some tumbling over the edge. The dried-out water left a thin residue on the porcelain, suggesting the couple had been deceased for several days, perhaps weeks, before anyone realized. As news of their death spread, Hollywood friends and fans were left wondering how such a recognizable figure could go unnoticed for so long. The coroner's preliminary examination revealed no clear cause of death, no wounds, no forced entry, and no evidence of carbon monoxide poisoning. The absence of answers only deepened the mystery, especially since Gene Hackman was known for maintaining a steady routine with no apparent desire to distance himself from loved ones. A critical clue emerged unexpectedly from Gene's pacemaker, a device that not only regulated his heart, but also recorded the precise moment it stopped. Investigators seized the data, constructing a clearer timeline. But if Gene's heart stopped on February 17th, why was there no emergency call? Why had no medical personnel arrived? And why did Betsy die in a separate room, possibly at a different time? It seemed plausible that Betsy, upon witnessing Gene's collapse, might have tried to summon help. Yet no calls were made, and no desperate messages were left behind. Further complicating the case, neighborhood security cameras captured faint images of a vehicle parked discreetly on the street, along with motion sensor triggers suggesting unusual activity near the Hackman residence. The front door, although closed, was left slightly ajar, as though someone had peered inside or even re-entered the scene. The chilling implication was that someone might have been aware of their deaths before authorities were. The investigation then shifted toward an unexpected suspect, Gene's daughter, Leslie Ann Hackman. While she had previously maintained a low public profile, investigators noted inconsistencies in her statements. She claimed to have spoken with her father shortly before his death, but phone records contradicted her story. Further scrutiny of legal documents uncovered questionable amendments to Gene's estate, all heavily favoring Leslie, and suspicious bank transactions followed, revealing attempts to transfer large sums of money to accounts linked to Leslie, and the unsettling pattern suggested either a calculated scheme or a disturbing willingness to exploit the tragedy. Detectives soon speculated that Gene's medications, vital to managing his heart condition, had been intentionally removed. Without them, he would have been vulnerable to sudden cardiac arrest. Betsy's medication, too, was suspiciously scattered across the bathroom sink. Did she suffer from her own medical crisis, Or had she been left incapacitated, unable to call for help? Investigators pushed further, tracing phone pings and analyzing financial dealings. Evidence pointed to Leslie Ann's deliberate attempts to manipulate the estate before the deaths were even made public. Surveillance footage, phone logs, and records from out-of-state notaries exposed her maneuvers to expedite legal changes without attracting attention. When confronted, Leslie Ann's explanations unraveled. She insisted she had only acted to responsibly manage her father's affairs, but the evidence of her deceit was overwhelming. Prosecutors built their case around fraudulent estate claims, obstruction of justice, and manipulation of financial records. Although no direct evidence connected Leslie Ann to the physical act of causing her father's and Betsy's deaths, the timing of her actions was impossible to ignore. Ultimately, she was found guilty on multiple counts of financial crimes and obstruction. The court invalidated her claims to the estate, which was then placed under judicial control. Jean's wealth, properties, and investments were distributed to distant relatives and charities named in earlier, unaltered versions of his will. Despite the verdict, uncertainty lingered. The exact cause of Jean and Betsy's deaths remained inconclusive. Some speculated about simultaneous medical emergencies, while others suspected a more calculated plot. Rumors circulated about shadowy figures near the residence, though no concrete evidence supported these claims. In the aftermath, Leslie Ann continued to maintain her innocence. She argued that the altered documents reflected her father's genuine wishes and that discrepancies in phone records were simply errors. Yet the courts found no merit in her defense, and the public's fascination with the tragic, twisted tale only grew. The Hackman residence, once a peaceful retreat, became a grim reminder of the unsettling mystery. Documentaries and podcasts sought to unravel the unanswered questions, leaving viewers to speculate on the true nature of the events that unfolded. Whether the deaths resulted from a cruel act of negligence or a sinister plot, the legacy of Gene Hackman's life was forever intertwined with the shadows of betrayal and unanswered questions. Leave your thoughts below. Every perspective, theory, or hunch adds to the ongoing conversation. And if you're eager to uncover more mysteries, click on the next video popping up on your screen. You won't want to miss what we've uncovered there.